Did you know that 85% of men cannot identify when they are being cheated on? Surprising, isn't it? Relax, because today I'm going to share important information that might dramatically transform how you view your relationship. Before we dive in, if you would like to become a master at understanding the female mentality and transform your relationship life, don't forget to click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell, because there is so much coming your way. Brothers, pay full attention, because what I'm going to reveal could be the key to uncovering the darkest secrets of female behavior. Have you ever heard that women are perfect at masking their true intentions? Anyway, that's not just a myth. In reality, when it comes to cheating, women are considerably more sophisticated and smart than men. While you, my beloved viewers, might leave clear signs when being unfaithful, women have the luxury of disguising their actions with a skill that borders on artistry. But don't worry, because today I'm going to reveal the 6 phrases every woman says when she's cheating, but that go unnoticed by many men. What if you realize that your woman's behavior is trying to show you something you've never noticed before? Do you really understand what's going on in your relationship? Has your woman ever said any of these 6 phrases I'm about to reveal? And you could not even suspect anything? Do not miss a second of what's coming, because this information might be the difference between living a lie or knowing the truth, which could transform your love life forever. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. So-and-so understands what I'm going through very well. When your woman starts to regularly talk about someone else, specifically in a favorable and adoring tone, it should raise a red flag for you. Statements like, "So-and-so understands what I'm going through very well," can initially sound like an innocent statement, but they are sometimes considerably more meaningful than they appear. Such statements are a sign that she is beginning to create an emotional attachment with that person, building a bond that can deepen with time. This statement is not just an ordinary comparison. It's a subtle technique for seeding the impression that there is someone outside the relationship who understands her more profoundly and effectively than you do. This can be a forerunner to an emotional or even physical connection, showing that she is distancing herself from you and seeking comfort in another person. If you notice that she regularly compares you to so-and-so or compliments this person too much, it's important to investigate whoever this so-and-so is and what role they have in her life. Pay close attention to the hints and take action to better understand the situation and maintain what remains of your relationship. Number 2, don't worry, I'm just going out with some friends. This phrase might sound like a harmless, honest statement, but it usually hides deeper layers of intricacy and perhaps dishonesty. When someone engages in deceptive behavior, they typically turn to seemingly credible and common excuses to cover up the truth about what's actually going on. This kind of statement is always used to make sure that you don't have any suspicions while she embarks on activities outside the home that could not be as innocent as they look. This excuse might act as a method to avoid any discomfort or questioning from you, making a mask of normality that conceals deeper intentions or behaviors. If you notice that this statement is being repeated regularly, or if you discover contradictions in the stories and details concerning these outings, it's important to pay attention. The regularity of such excuses and the lack of transparency in the stories about her commitments can indicate that something is wrong and requires closer investigation. It's important to be aware of these subtleties in order to maintain the integrity of the relationship and gain a deeper understanding of the situation at hand. Number 3, I need more space for myself. When your woman expresses an interest in more space for herself, it could sound like a reasonable attempt to create a healthy balance within the relationship. However, it's important to dive deeper into what that statement could honestly mean. In many instances, this desire for space is used as a reason to distance oneself to spend more time away from home, maybe with someone else, without causing suspicion. This desire for space might be a subtle approach to creating possibilities for behaviors that are not necessarily in accordance with the faithfulness or dedication expected in a relationship. The need for more space can initially sound like a reasonable desire for individuality or self-improvement, but if it begins to manifest as an actual emotional or physical distance, it's an obvious sign that something might be amiss. It's important to investigate whether this space is being applied for activities not discussed with you, and if there is a noticeable change in the way she interacts with you. Be sensitive to any signs that this space has turned into a technique to avoid conversation and contact, and be mindful of how it can affect the relationship as a whole. Number 4. I'm working late tonight. Employment is one of the most commonly used excuses for absences. If your woman begins to constantly say that she is working extra hours or doing overtime, this can be a red flag that needs further investigation. This statement may sound like a reasonable excuse for her absence and long periods without communication, but it typically hides something deeper and may be harmful. When this excuse becomes a frequent occurrence, it's important to pay attention to the intricacies of the situation. The excuse that she is working late can actually be used for masking secret meetings, prolonged periods away from home, or even illicit affairs that are not immediately evident. It's important to pay attention to any unexpected changes in her daily routine, as well as the way she reacts when you ask questions about these extended periods. Check for contradictions in the stories she tells, as well as whether these overtime periods correlate with other suspicious behavior. How she responds to your concerns, as well as the explanations she gives, can reveal important clues about the reality of her justification. Number 5. I think we need some time apart. When your woman suggests that you need some time apart, that suggestion might initially sound like a sincere way to address and reflect on problems in the relationship. However, the deeper meaning behind this statement might be actually complicated and even alarming. Needing a break or space usually serves as an excuse to create emotional and physical space between partners, allowing for an extramarital affair to develop without the partner's intervention. This suggestion can work as a technique to test the other's reaction, create the stage for what can follow next, or even relieve whatever guilt she might be experiencing because she was involved in cheating. This distance might give a convenient and discreet place for her to explore new relationships or fulfill desires that have not been taken care of within her current relationship. Be careful if this request for separation comes up unexpectedly, without a clear background or previous discussion justifying such an urgent need. This urgent change in attitude or desire to distance oneself can indicate that something more is at play than just a need to solve issues. The approach in which this suggestion is made and the frequency with which it is brought up can give critical clues about her real intentions. Number 6. You deserve someone better than me. If your woman says, "You deserve someone better than me," that statement might be packed with enormous emotional volume, including feelings of guilt, regret, and a need to soothe her own conscience. This phrase may serve as a subtle hint that she is aware of indulging in inappropriate activity, such as an illicit relationship, and is trying to justify her actions. By suggesting this, she could be deliberately setting the stage for a potential separation or creating a reason for her future actions. This statement is often used as a means to dodge responsibility, giving her a moral exit by suggesting that the issue lies not in the current relationship, but in her own insufficiency to be with you. The concept is that by acknowledging her own imperfections, she is trying to ease the acceptance of separation or diminish the emotional burden of her actions. What appears to be an expression of self-reflection can be an approach to recognizing the mistake without directly confessing the betrayal. This statement might be a clear sign that she is aware of the damage she is causing, but at the same time, is attempting to put the blame and responsibility onto herself. When you hear this phrase, it's important to understand that there may be a much deeper and more nuanced context underlying these words, perhaps associated with deception and engagement in something she knows is wrong.